Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Congratulations! You have found Wrestle Shoot, hosted by the Wild Thing Rob Wilds and the ladies' man Chris Casanova. Combined, we have 40 years of wrestling experience, and we're here to share those experiences, stories, and knowledge with you over the podcast airwaves. We'll be joined by friends of ours from time to time to share their stories and experiences with you as well. So climb aboard the crazy train we call Wrestle Shoot. We know how to do it, and we do it real well.
That was to my air guitar.
Ah, damn, that song always gives my boner a fucking boner. Welcome to another episode of Wrestle Shoot. I'm your host, the Wild Thing, Rob Wilds, joined, of course, as always, by the wonderful, the sensual, the talented, the wonderful, my hedgerow life made himself. Don't shake your head, Buttercup. Chris Casanova. What's up, honey?
I feel like you're like Pat Sajak. I'm like Vanna White, man. Like
Oh, baby, you're always the Vanna to my Pat. Now come over here and turn something. I got a letter for you.
Okay.
Super. That's right. Hey, shut up. I'm stealing a page from Mikey Whipwreck today.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, usually we like to just kind of get into some bullshit that's going on in our lives and the network and wrestling. But who the hell's got the time for that today? Because we finally have. Yay, fucking finally. Goddamn, it took long enough to get him. We're going to bring on our special guest, the great hardcore icon himself, Mr. Madman fucking Pondo. Brother.
That's right. Now your boner's boner has a boner.
Man.
Wow.
No, my boner's boner got wet. That's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense situation happening over here. That's why I keep the camera pointed, up.
Let's keep it from here up. Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody wants to see that.
Surprised
Unless you want to, I'll stand up.
No, don't.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, fine. Well, I thought here on Wrestle Shoot we were about supporting each other, but apparently it's just robbing a couple cunts. So let's get into it.
Let's get it.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
I mean, I'm just kind of a guy that flies by night. So my birthday is this Saturday, which will be Kevin Kennedy's 54th birthday, but it will be Madman Pondo's 34th birthday. 34 years in this crazy fucking business. Can you imagine the shit that I've seen?
Yes, but we want to hear it from you.
Yeah.
You guys ask, I'll tell. What's up? What do you guys want to know?
Yeah, see, that's the thing about Wrestle Shoot. It's not really like an interview-based show. We just get on here and bullshit about things. So, let me ask you this. Take the last televised pro wrestling match you saw and compare it to when you jumped in, when you were broke. Do you find it to be complete horseshit nowadays too, or is it just me?
Well, okay. I don't find it horseshit, and the reason being is I'm still in this business. So that means I evolved with it. Is it better than back when I started? Fuck no. But you either evolve or get the fuck out. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
I love him to death, Jim Cornette. He needs to evolve. There's so many guys from back then that just don't realize if you go along with it, things get a lot easier, But some guys look at it different, and I get that they don't like the new way of wrestling. Like back in the day, it was so hard to find a wrestling school. So fucking hard.
Yeah.
Today, every state has 4 or 5.
Every city has 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Some
it
should
was
be
so
training
hard
either.
back then. I'm sorry, what?
Some probably shouldn't be even open too. They're probably like
exactly.
school being
Well,
trainers.
And that's another thing. Back then, if you was in a wrestling school, you was in something that somebody had. There was no amateur shit back then. It was you joined a wrestling school, and that wrestling school had to be credible, or it wouldn't be fucking open.
Right.
Nowadays, anybody who buys a wrestling ring can start a school. Anybody who buys a pair of Magnums and a flannel shirt to tie around their waist can be part of the flock. It's just so much different now. Back then, one thing that is so different is independent wrestlers that can dictate whether they go up or down. Dude, if back then, if I said, "Oh, I don't want to lose to that guy," or I don't want to lose my belt yet, or any of them things, oh my God, they'd have waited till the show started, got you in the ring, and then you would have totally regretted the words that came out of your mouth. But
Bullpen City, baby, get him.
Yes, but I understand all of that. That things have changed. I mean, look at cancel culture. The 3 of us are in so much danger just being on this podcast because we could say one thing that somebody took out of context, and then our lives would be fucking destroyed. So,
yeah,
the world changed. So, of course, wrestling changed. So, my thinking is you either get on the bandwagon or jump the fuck off. And I'm not ready to stop. So, I joined the bandwagon. Not that I'm ever going to say, hey, I don't want to lose my belt. I don't give a fuck about no belt. When you can go to when you can go to a WWE show, and then I understand if you're a child and you got a belt over your shoulder. I understand if you're a special needs and you have a belt over your shoulder. But these grown fucking adults that walk around WWE shows with belts on, who did you beat? eBay? I mean,
I took Amazon to the limit, brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
60-minute
those
match.
same guys that that put those belts on the shoulder and then go to WWE during the matches, where those belts laying? Exactly. Back in the day, if you would have let that belt hit the floor, you'd have got your asses whooped. But no, all these guys are going to AEW and WWE shows with these belts and then laying them in the floor during the matches. And I don't know. It's just, like I said, you either evolve or jump the fuck out. But that one is a big pet peeve of mine. I just want to challenge every fucking adult that I see with a belt when I get there. I'm like, let's see who owns that motherfucker. Let's do it right now. Let's go, But
I was the training kind of style that I come from was you don't ever put the belt over your fucking shoulder. You only do it if you're sitting down in the locker room having an interview. You always wear it. It's a belt. But a funny point on what you just said, I was doing a little TV interview for the news in Sacramento when we were doing a show. And some Mark comes walking by with the belt slung over his shoulder, and he goes, oh, come on, Wild Thing. Look, I brought my belt. And I said, nah, you don't want to do that. And he said, why not? He said, because then it's going to be my belt. Well, of course, they recorded all that and used it against me that I was bullying fans. But it worked. I got my heel heat on it.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that I have to evolve with, my stomach will not let a belt be worn. So I have to put one over my fucking shoulder or I don't have a belt. So, but I hate having a belt anyway. To me, your belts need to go on those guys who have trouble on the mic or who you want to push, but they're having trouble getting over with the fans.
Ooh,
as long as I'm walking out, not bragging, guys. As long as I'm walking out and those people are either cheering if I'm a good guy or booing if I'm a bad guy, that's my belt. I don't give a fuck about no belt. I hate the guys who are like so dependent on when am I going to get the belt? I don't want to lose the belt, guys. It's a fucking prop.
Right. You know? It's a heavy prop at that.
That's it, and it just makes your bag a lot heavier.
Yeah,
I mean, it is fucking nerve-wracking to have a belt. Would you fucking realize that? You know,
somebody steals it on your watch, so they got their hand out.
That's it, man. I mean, but I'm talking like that other guy that I just mentioned. But I have evolved. I promise. You know, I just put up with it as much as I can, and you know, I mean, back in the day, that when I got into it, man, the guys that was training me kicked the shit out of me. Now, if somebody's getting hit too hard, they can get out and sit down and still show up to class the next week, you know, and things that I noticed.
Wow, they don't even shoot anymore. They don't shoot anymore in school. Like I think
they have to shoot a little bit though, right? Like they have to.
Barely. I'm sure they don't hardly do anything at all. They just go.
Right. What happens if your student's out there getting fired on and he don't know what to do? Your school looks like shit. So wouldn't you just insist on some shoot?
You would think, but they push them through like quickly.
I'll say it like this: that piece of shit I used to work for, I always wanted me to do chop class, and I never would. I don't get into that. I don't think a student needs to get his shit kicked in to be good at wrestling. I don't feel that way. I didn't like it when it was happening to me. Me and my best friend in high school, when we got into wrestling, you know, we went to the same school, same time. After a while, he was like, "Oh no, I'm not going back. I'm not going to have these guys. I'm not going to be paying money for these guys to kick me in my fucking eye and shit like that." But I was dedicated. I knew that I wanted to be a professional wrestler, so go ahead and kick me in both eyes. I don't give a shit. But you know, I don't think it should be to the point, hey, let's see if this guy wants to be a wrestler so bad that we need to beat the shit out of him. I do not get into that. But if I'm in the ring and okay, I'll tell you a story. Me and Necro, you guys are both familiar with Necro, correct?
Yeah, actually, I want to get into you and Necro here after we're done with this.
All right. We got booked in Jakarta for that tag thing that they do, you know,
the tournament.
I can't remember what it was called. And before we went out, they asked us to do an interview, and then poor Ring of Honor kids, they were just trying to get over, you know, and they did an interview about what a cancer me and Necro was to the business and how we spent no time in the dojo and all this shit. So then they was like, all right, it's Pondo and Necro's turn. I go to get out of my chair, and Necro puts me back down in my chair and says, hey, we'll do our interview out in the ring. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll do our interview out in the ring. I don't know if you saw it or not, but Necro beat the shit out of both those kids. So we get in the back, and I'm like, Necro, we finally make it to Jakara, and you got to beat the fuck out of these kids. What the fuck's wrong with you? Just stop, just chill out, you know. And he's like, all right, man, all right. So our very next opponents was these two guys, Men at Work, and they're going over the match with me and Necro, and they're calling this and this and this and this. And I finally stop them. I say, look, man, Necro, we don't do this shit, what you guys are talking about. You're going to be able to walk us through that.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh, yeah. We do this all the time. 1, 2, 3 spots in, they forgot every bit of their shit. I'm reminding them of their shit. And just like you said, it was go ahead and let the match look like shit or make the match look good. So I start putting it to them, doing my shit, and Necro's on the side going, oh, Pondo, don't beat up the Chicago. During the match, he's like, oh, Pondo, don't beat up the Chicago kid. You know? So yes, I understand that sometimes that is needed, and don't think that I haven't put it to other guys in the ring for certain reasons, but to go to a show with the mindset of, this guy talked to the girl that I've been trying to get to for weeks. I'm going to beat the fuck out of that guy. I don't get into that.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of shoot classes. Shoot classes are so you can defend yourself and not get murdered if someone wants to get too real.
I get that. I mean, okay, I understand that, but in my opinion, when you're talking about a shoot in a match, I don't really think about two guys getting there in amateur wrestling. When I hear, oh man, there was a shoot in that match, it's somebody getting fucking kicked in the head because they fucked up or some shit like that. That's my mindset on that.
But your typical pro wrestling training, shoot classes are supposed to really put you into like ring awareness in a high pressure situation. Have your senses always alert so you can anticipate a shoot coming your way. That's how we taught our guys. I mean, that's how we were taught. Yeah, I just feel like it's still very necessary.
It is, and they don't teach it.
I wrestled in high school, so I already knew pretty much a lot of that, and I don't think more than 2 or 3 times I put any of that into one of my matches. So, everything's different for everybody, but yeah, I mean, I was second in state though, so if that tells you that if something was to happen, I would be able to take care of myself. Now I'm 50, going on 54, stomach's fat as fuck. Now a shoot is me grabbing a baseball bat with a fucking saw blade on the end of it and somebody's hamstring if I have to,
Nah, hey, that's still a shoot. Come on, you son of a bitch.
That's right.
Pull that baseball bat out.
It is what it is. It's not like Chris and I have never picked up a couple of weapons at shows to be like, all right, how's this gonna go?
That's it.
Especially with those clicky types, it's like, let's keep business, man. You guys, we can all go talk this out at the bar after the show if you got heat. But when you try to start bringing personal into the ring, I'm gonna fuck you up, and that's just the end of it. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're not just threatening, my health, my well-being. You're threatening my career. So I'm gonna fuck you up quick and be out of it, and then we'll finish the match.
I mean, there was a guy not too long ago. He was talking about, oh man, I have been watching you at the Evansville Coliseum since I was a young boy, and this is gonna be awesome. And he was all pumped and excited, and he he gets in the ring, and the first thing, he punches me right in the eye, and I just stare at him. I stare at him, and then I punch him in his eye, and I go, in front of the crowd, I'm like teaching class. I punch him in his eye, and I go, you want him like that, or do you want him like this? And I gave him a work punch, and then everything was okay after that. You know, Vader
probably. With he was too excited, maybe.
Vader. I was wrestling Vader, and Necro said, "Listen, it's gonna happen. He's gonna test you. As long as you fight back, everything's gonna go easy. When he puts you in that corner and starts giving you them fucking swipes,
yeah,
and you guys all know what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
He said, "Punch him as hard as you can in his face, and everything will go easy after that." So sure enough, I'm wrestling Vader. He puts me in the corner. He gives me 1, 2, 3. I punch him in the face, and his demeanor just went, I was like, oh shit, here comes this next one. But no, everything was light after that. Necro totally showed me the way. Oh, Suma Tuwakala. Shadow WX sent me your stuff.
Man, we go way back with that guy. He's good people to be in business with, Suma. Suma Te Wukla. Yeah. Of course, we used to know him back when he was Rage.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Old school.
Back when
didn't they take the tag belts off you guys, Chris? Suma and his old partner?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he whooped your ass, as I recall.
I didn't want the belt anymore.
That's true.
Shadow WX is coming to America, guys. Make sure you get out there, and I'll give a list of the dates. Excuse me, if you want to list them on your thing, but he'll be here from July 11th to August 15th, and he talks to me more about these Major League Baseball games that we're going to than the matches. He's so excited to get to go to Major League Baseball.
Nice.
And I'm here in Louisville, and we have the Cincinnati Reds. What do you call it? If they do good here, they get called up to the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
What is that called?
Your feeder team, the Miners.
The Miners, yeah. The Louisville Bats here in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'll make sure he gets to some baseball games.
Yeah, that's good, Frank.
Awesome, man.
Now let me switch gears back to Necro. So, like, how did you guys, this completely natural, obvious pairing? How did the pairing happen?
Okay. A guy in Texas booked me, New Jack, and this guy, Necro Butcher, in a 3-way. Well, me and New Jack, we already knew each other. And when we show up to the building, the place is fucking packed. I mean, there's tons of people there. And they had some of the old school cardboard flyers that go on the telephone pole. I mean,
yeah,
huge. That said, Rey Mysterio at the top of it. All right. So all these people come to see Rey Mysterio Jr., and it was the dad, Rey Mysterio. So
shady booking.
No, that's not. I mean, how is that shady? Okay, if you book Bruno Sammartino with 2 N's, that's shady booking. Or if you book the British Bulldog, DAWG, that's shady booking. No, but this guy legit had his dad, Rey Mysterio.
Should have put senior. Shady booking.
Well, he should have even went more than that and said father of Rey Mysterio. Anything other than just Rey Mysterio, but he just didn't think about that. So he said right away, he's like, Sorry for the disappointment. It's not Rey Mysterio Jr. Anybody who wants a refund can go to the front and get one right now. Guys, the line for that refund was so long that New Jack already was like, motherfucker, I want my money right now and all this shit, So already New Jack was in a mood. And New Jack was, when the three of us got in the ring, if you guys know anything about New Jack, when he's not happy, he doesn't want anybody to be happy. But Necro, me and New Jack, we just had a fucking banger of a match. It was great. So when I got back to Louisville, of course, I was working for Piece of Shit. That's right, Kelly White. I was working for a piece of shit, and I told him, I was like, look, man, I went to Tennessee and I wrestled this really brave guy. Let's bring him in here, right? So me and Necro, we had an apartment together here in Louisville. Shit, of course, we was a couple of wrestlers that didn't know how to pay our fucking bills back then, so we lost the apartment. You know how that goes. But we just always kept in contact, always. And then we went to Japan, and we was a tag team, and Jace, for the Clowns, we was a tag team. And whether we was working each other or tagging, just our chemistry was like, holy shit, we got something here, Sure. So yeah, that's how that came about, and we just kept doing it. Hell, we just got back from Japan last month, and he's doing the Trump thing, and I'm not. And he wants to throw a Trump hat on me or throw a Trump flag in front of me, but I'm like, Necro, aren't you having trouble getting booked places?
I thought he retired.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
No. Let me tell you, he didn't retire. He almost died. He was 2 years ago. He was 150 pounds.
I remember that.
Cancer.
Yeah,
he had lymph node cancer, and
oh wow,
he beat it. He beat it, guys. He's back to his normal weight. He's throwing that Texas punch in wrestlers' eyes, making everybody afraid of him again, and hell, he's back to his normal self. Shit.
I just think he's one of the genuinely most kind-hearted people I've ever met in the business.
One of the smartest guys I know. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it by seeing him land in glass and barbed wire, but
no, but you would know it seeing him get off the fucking plane, though, because just him in everyday life, he's got his glasses on. He looks like a teacher.
He looks like a 60s weed head getting off a plane. He's got
not teacher, professor is what I was thinking. He looks like a professor.
He's got his bandana always on. Hey man, I mean, I'm not talking behind his back. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't know if you've seen him get off a plane. But I don't know if you would think he was the most brightest motherfucker in the world getting off the plane. But if you sit down and you talk with him, like sometimes that politics stuff, I gotta tell him, shut the fuck up. I mean, he knows his shit. He knows what he wants to say. He's not afraid to say what he wants to say, and that scares people. So we was having a conversation, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm having so much trouble getting booked. Only XPW is using me. But then he wants to throw a Trump flag in front of me, and I'm like, hell no. I don't want to have trouble getting booked. And we just have this conversation, and, so.
Hey, you ain't gonna fuck up my numbers here, man.
I hear you.
It's all good, man. No censorship.
Yeah. No, I meant Necro. You're not gonna throw a Trump flag on me and fuck up my numbers. I'm getting booked.
All right. So let me just clarify what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I may be the biggest Trump fan in the world. I may be the biggest Joe Biden fan in the world. I may be the biggest bestiality porn lover in the fucking world.
No, that would be me.
Rob.
Yeah, that's me.
But not one person out in the world is going to know it because I don't put it all over Facebook. Therefore, I keep getting booked. And I explained this to Necro, but Necro is Necro. If he's got something he wants to say, he's going to say it.
Hard-headed.
Yeah.
Hard-headed. Yeah, see, because I wanted to ask you that for a while because you always hear the story that the clowns take credit for putting you guys together as a tag team. And I was like, I don't believe that's correct. I believe they were in Japan before that.
Yeah. We tagged in Japan before we. No, you know what? I can't remember.
Oh shit!
No,
I can't remember which one was first.
See,
it doesn't matter.
It's these deep probing interviews that keep Wrestle Shoot so relevant.
I hear you. I really can't remember which one was first, Japan or JCW. But,
all right, so the clowns may have paired you first.
Okay, it could happen.
Trying to think. I don't think so. I think I don't think so. I think Japan did it first, and then we came home, and then JCW did it second.
Because you guys were Japan throwing off. Yeah, you guys were Japan throwing off like that first, like the original concept of the tag team death matches.
Necro was the first guy to jump off the balcony from America at the Corrigan Hall. No other American that I know of. You know what? Homicide jumped off. You know, but Necro would do shit. Necro, to me, is the bravest deathmatch guy out there because he would say shit like, yeah, I want you two guys to suplex me from inside the ring out to the floor. I ain't doing that. Fuck that. I got respect for my back. You know? But also, you guys know about the pencil incident, right?
No.
I took a bump. I took a bump on a bed of pencils, and they got inside my bloodstream and fucked me up for like 6 days.
Oh, shit.
Now, the reason that I did the bump on the pencils, I'm sitting backstage at CZW, and all the weapons are laying back there. And I think to myself, you know, I'm a thinker. I sat back and watched things that happen. And I'm watching all these guys go over all these crazy things. Well, that bed of pencils is laying there. And all these wrestlers would walk by and they'd look at it and they'd be like, oh, no, we're not going to mess with that. We're not going to mess with that. Well, the bravest deathmatch guy I know, Necro and Brain Damage was going over their match. And I saw Necro look over there at that bed of pencils and he goes, we ain't fucking with that. And I was like, oh, that's what I can do. I can land on that and be remembered in this fucking tournament, right? Because I was always out the first seed, so I might as well do something to be remembered. So yeah, I landed on that bed of pencils because Necro wouldn't do it. And then I had an Asian wife sitting in my because I lived in Charleston, West Virginia at the time. On the way home from Delaware to New Jersey, I had her sitting in the passenger seat. I had Gypsy Joe in my back seat. Neither one of them could drive, but I could feel my body deteriorating and feeling something very weird. Then the next day, we had Cleveland Indians or whatever they are now, the fucking Guardians or whatever. But we had tickets because I'm a big Yankees fan, and they had the New York Yankees. So the next day, I had to drive to Cleveland, sit in those comfortable baseball seats. That's sarcasm, by the way. Watch the Yankees, and then drive back home. But something was going on with my body. By day 2 after that, moving my arms, moving my neck, moving my legs, everything was just fucking painful. And I'm used to being able to shut pain off. I couldn't shut this off. And 6 days of that, guys. But like I said, now that that's all over, I will. They remember 3 things about that tournament. They remember Necro. Well, 4 things. They remember Necro won it. They remember Nick Gage got caught on fire really fucking bad. They remember this guy named Blood took a bump over the top rope into a shopping cart full of light tubes and cut his knee. It looked like somebody hit the side of a pig with a fucking meat cleaver. It was that fucking big. And they remember me landing on those pencils. So mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Telling that story, I do remember. Like a bunch of the pencil lead broke off under the skin and almost killed you, basically.
It still got it in there.
Yeah.
I can take my shirt off and you can still see all the pencil lead. Plus, this far from my asshole, one went in there, right? And then when it healed,
ooh, that's a Friday
the bruise. Night. Yeah, the bruise or the scar is purple and it goes down into my crack. So
wow.
Every time I have sex with a new girl, I have to back out of the room so she don't think I got this big shit stain, on my asshole or some shit. So, I'm still feeling the effects of that match. I'll never not remember that match.
I remember hearing a recap of that show, and I was like, oh, that's a great story. Wonder how much of it's actually true. And it's pretty much how you just recapped it. So, yeah. Wow. All right. That's pretty brutal. You figure that's like a promoter's nightmare. All these legit injuries. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Finds himself in a pretty act. Well, you signed a waiver, right? Ah, fuck yourself with that waiver. Doesn't mean
nothing. I don't think we did sign waivers for CZW. That's the thing, man. There's all these deathmatch tournaments. There's nothing to sign. You either want to do them or you don't want to do them. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen somebody get sued over a wrestler getting inside of a deathmatch tournament.
I've never seen it. I've heard of it, but we were also promoters for a while, so we were very paranoid, ear to the grind. We did the waiver gimmick, but we knew those didn't hold any fucking water.
No,
we still did it though.
So. I still run the Juggalo champion, the Juggalo tryouts.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing that again this year for the gathering, and Psychopathic Records wants those waivers no matter what.
Right.
While I'm saying that, if there's anybody out there going to the gathering, there will be 50 entries. Last year they went so fast. So if you want to get in the JCW tryouts this year, go up early. No, I cannot say one for you. Like I've already been asked 10, 20 times. But 50. That's it.
And by the way, real quick to answer your Doug said clowns. We were talking about the ICP. Everyone remembers the pencil bump.
So yeah. Well, no. Let's see. Pondo used the knife, and Necro was bleeding like a sieve. Wait a minute.
200
Everyone remembers the pencil bump. First time ever. Oh, and then first time. Yeah. That was in Japan. He's talking about. I had an anti-King T-shirt on, and I was just fucking Crimson Mask.
Nice. Yeah, we've done that color bit, but for us, getting color wasn't a problem. But you're gonna pay for it. We're not gonna just go out there and juice for free. So
no,
we didn't do it a whole lot.
I hear you.
Yeah,
it was kind of my job title there for the longest time.
Right,
So.
right. Well, that was the problem. Was I fell into hardcore. I ended up being good at it, so now it's all I was getting booked for, and I couldn't break free. It was kind of a nightmare. Period.
I don't mind doing regular. If I could get paid the same amount of money that I get for death matches, I would be fucking Ric Flair for all I care. But nobody's giving me the same amount of money to go out there and do a headlock and a fucking armbar, you know. So you go death matches.
Go death matches. Get it. Get that money where you can get it. Well, we are coming up to the end of the time. It kind of flew by, but let's pump your shit there, Pondo.
Yeah. Anything want to plug?
I have a book out called Memoirs of a Madman. I haven't gotten a bad review. Like I put every embarrassing story from my childhood. It's not just a wrestling book. There's stories about everything. Boykin, Bridget the Midget. I mean, you know, I put it all in this book. 248 pages of pictures and stories of myself. And you can pick that up at Amazon.com. Or if you want an autograph copy, go to EatSleepWrestle.com and tell John Cosper that I sent you. He's not going to give me anything cheaper, but, you know, it might make his day. And then if you are looking for a Madman Pondo t-shirt, Corey Higdon over at deathmatchworldwide.com. He started a whole web page for deathmatch workers to sell their merchandise. Only deathmatch workers. So there's a ton of Pondo t-shirts on there, but just about any deathmatch worker that you would want to buy stuff from is at deathmatchworldwide.com.
All right. That's good shit. Yeah, I want a book. I just picked up an autographed copy of the Bushwhackers biography, and it was signed back when they were both still with us.
Oh, nice.
Man, I love Luke to death. When I go to Florida, I always try to make it into Panfilos. He works from 10 to like 3 in the morning, 8 or something to 3 in the morning at a little restaurant in Clearwater, Florida called Panfilos, and he's just the greeter. It's like the home of Bushwhacker Luke, and if you ever want to meet him, that's where you go.
Oh, we're gonna have to go, Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'll tell you something else before you jump out of here. I'm just thinking Diary of a Madman podcast here on the Antisocial Network would be great. Just saying, just putting it out there. So, guys, if you would like to see Madman Pondo being a host here on the Antisocial Network, start bothering him and tell him to take Rob's offer.
I was doing 2 podcasts at one time, and man, it just got so fucking monotonous, you know. I mean, but I will tell you, I'm a bigger horror movie fan than I ever was a wrestling fan. So I can talk horror movie. If you want to catch my attention and you want to start talking wrestling, trust me, I'm the guy that tries to get out and go the other way, and I don't want to talk that shit. But if you want to talk horror movies, I'm right there. I'm listening to you. So
if you guys want to see Pondo doing a horror movie review show right here on the Antisocial Network, start bothering him. Pondo.
There you go.
Come on, baby. We want you over here. But with all that fluff and hype being said, man, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I hope you're going to come and do it with us again.
Yeah. You guys just let me know, man.
Always, baby. Always. Well, that's going to do it for Wrestle Shoot, guys. We'll see you next week. Love you. Mean it. Bye.